Oh, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I guess you can't really act surprised at the camera setup when you film things by yourself, which I do. So no one's here that happened to put the camera there. It was me. But I got tired of just doing every video the same way. My intro is always the same. It's, hey, what's going on, guys? Because that's what I'm saying to you. You're the guys. I'm asking you what's going on. But I don't know. Sometimes it feels repetitive. Sometimes I want to open a video differently and just start talking, but then that feels weird to me. I like to greet you. It's like, if you knocked on my door. Knock, knock, knock. And I open the door, I go, hey, what's going on? Anyway, who cares? Who cares what the intro's like? Today is a little bit colder. It's probably like maybe 48 degrees right now, which is cold to me. Obviously people watch them all over the world, so that's freezing to some person and not even cold enough to wear a jacket to someone else. But it's fall here officially in northeastern Pennsylvania. Still raining. Not today, which is nice, but it rained yesterday. Pretty soon all of my rain problems will turn into snow problems, so I guess I can't really complain about the rain that much, right? The leaves are falling. The trees, it's weird because the trees are like kind of starting to turn colors where I am. It just seems like they're not as vibrant. They're just dropping leaves. Like, they don't know what's going on. It's hot, it's cold, it's all the rain, they're not getting any sun. They don't know what to do. So it's like mostly green, a little bit of color, but things are dropping off. Hopefully some of those like beautiful fiery reds and oranges and yellow colorations will come out before they completely go bare. But this video is not about trees. I don't even know why I'm telling you about it. It's just I happen to be looking out and speaking my mind. So as this video is about speaking my mind, it's really just a response to the comments on my Yeti video. A lot of the comments were about how people don't support Yeti, regardless of the product itself. It's just the company and the politics and the anti-gun and pro-gun. And so I wanted to talk about it a little bit because there was enough people who commented, about that instead of just replying to each person or whatever, I just wanted to make a video and talk about it in general. So of course, my opinions are only my opinions. Some people watching the video will share my opinions and you'll agree with me, and some people won't. And that's okay. That's what makes America an awesome place to be, is you can disagree. You're not going to get penalized for that. You're allowed to have your own opinion. But I want to make a couple points, really, about that. About the people who are very strongly opinionated, and they will say, like, I do not buy this product because this company is against this that I like, or they're for this that I don't like. I just want to touch upon that a little bit. But the very first thing I wanted to say is when I actually purchased that Yeti, I didn't know anything that was going on. I knew nothing about it until afterwards. Afterwards is when I heard about, the big craze where everyone was blowing up their coolers and all that kind of stuff. This was after I purchased the thing. All right. A lot of people are saying that they're anti-gun, and then I see a lot of responses saying, well, they're not anti-gun, they're just, cut ties with the NRA. None of that matters to me. And some of you might be watching going, oh my God, what? You're pro-Second Amendment, Jeff. How can you possibly say that? Well, I'm going to explain why I'm saying that. The very first thing that happens with political stuff that some people just miss is if a company like Nike's a great example, right? Look at the political headache they're going through right now. Or any company, if a CEO of a company says, I am for this or I am against this, that doesn't represent the entire company. It just unfortunately represents the name. The person who owns it gets to do whatever they want. But the hundreds, or in most cases, thousands of employees don't get a say in what's going on. For example, I'm sure there's a lot of people who work for Yeti who completely disagree with what they've said or maybe what they haven't said. So when you hear about a company like Nike, or Yeti or whatever, make a political stance and kind of draw a line in the sand like we're for this or we're against this, it just represents the company because that's the owner. It doesn't represent all the workers. Another thing is people tend to want to boycott a company. A lot of people, like I said, I will never support Yeti ever again because of what they did. Never, ever, ever. Well, you're also not supporting a lot of American jobs because of it. And a lot of those employees are pro-Second Amendment people. It's not a representation of the company. It's not like, the CEO of Yeti said, let's go to Giant Stadium and get all of our employees together and raise your hand if you want to do this or raise your hand if you don't. Doesn't work like that, you know? Management, the suit and tie, the guy that owns the thing, he's the one that has the voice. They're the one that spreads that message, right? The employees are just, they have jobs, they have no say in it whatsoever. So that's the first aspect of it, is you boycotting a product. It's not just hurting the CEO you don't agree with, it's hurting all the people that agree with you that very much rely on their jobs, okay? And obviously, in the case of Yeti, they did bring a lot of production overseas. I don't know the details on that, don't really care, to be honest. But it's just a point I wanted to make, because I've had multiple conversations with people about stuff like this, mostly for the knife community. I get a lot of people that'll say, Jeff, you know, why are you buying Chinese knives, or why are you talking about this Chinese knife? You need to talk about American knives. I like good products. And I've said this a lot recently in recent years, but if it's a good product, I don't care who's making it. When I bought that Yeti, I wasn't thinking about the CEO. I wasn't thinking if they were pro-gun or anti-gun or pro-abortion or anti-abortion. I didn't give a crap about any of it, because that didn't matter on how that product functioned. I wanted a good quality cup to hold my water. That was as far as my thought went. So although you might be very politically passionate, and you might disagree with me and say, well, no, that's not, no. You have to, you know, you have to not like them because they're anti-Second Amendment. Well, here's something else I wanted to say. Another point I want to make in this video is the person who would go out of their way to not buy a certain product because of how that company, you know, presented themselves politically. Do you also do that with every other product? I mean, really, you got to be honest with yourself. I would put everything that I own on the fact that someone who says, I won't buy this product because of this reason, they do not do that with everything that they use and everything they own. A lot of those people who say, I won't support this company because they're anti-gun, well, if you heard the news tomorrow that the truck you drive or the car you drive, that company did something really bad, it's anti-gun, are you going to sell your truck? Sell your car tomorrow because the CEO? And some of you will say, yeah, no, I'm passionate. I will do that. Well, what if, I don't know, you found out that everyone on your block is anti-gun? You going to move? You just up and move? What if your boss writes a little memo to everyone in the company or wherever you happen to work and says, we're anti-gun? You going to change your job? You know, how far are you going to take that? It's very, very good that people are passionate about things. And as an adult, I see politics in a completely different way. But I want to stress that point, you know, if you're like, well, I'm not going to buy a Yeti, that's just a cup. You don't have to have their cup. But do you know what the company, their political stance of the people who made your couch? You go to the refrigerator, who made your refrigerator? What company made your refrigerator? What are their political stances? Are they pro-gun, anti-gun? Do you believe in everything they believe in? How about your couch? How about the remote you use for your TV? How about the batteries that you're putting in your remote? I mean, we use thousands of products every single day and don't even think about it, don't even realize it. The reason people are talking about, you know, I'm anti-Yeti is because they heard someone say, oh yeah, they're in the gun community, or word of mouth, and they go, yeah, I don't like that, I'm not going to support them. You know, whether you truly believe your purchase of their cup is going to change our Second Amendment rights, that's your opinion. You could believe that maybe the couple dollars that they got can do something. You know, even if that company got, you know, $100 billion, would they be able to actually change our Second Amendment rights? Maybe, maybe not. Today's day and age, I think a lot of politicians can be bought off and things can happen. Money talks. Money does change things. But it's just like, I mean, that's really the biggest point I wanted to make is, do you do that with every product? Do you pick up a Coca-Cola and go take a sip and go, wait a minute, what does Coke believe? I can't enjoy this Coke. They're anti-gun. I gotta put that down. You know, and you go to wipe your mouth with a napkin. Oh, wait a minute. Who makes this napkin? What do they believe in? Nope, can't do that. I'm very, very positive you don't do that. Because the gun and gear community is so prevalent. I mean, obviously, if you're watching the video, you're probably in the community, the gear community. You know, might not be into guns, but knives, guns, flashlights, outdoor stuff. It's like all kind of mushed together, right? So if everyone in the community is saying, oh, Yeti's anti-gun and forget them, you know, then you might jump on board and go, yeah, that's a good idea. I like guns. Then I guess I don't like Yetis. It's because it's your hobby. That's why it means something. When people write comments and they'll say, I'm an American, and I only buy American-made knives. Forget Chinese knives, I don't believe in that communist bull. Well, those people probably don't think about that with other things in their life. Like I said, like where their car is made, how the materials that built their house, that covers, and shelters their children, do they really know the shingles on their roof, who made those? And no one cares about that kind of stuff. But when it comes to a hobby, it's convenient to know and think and make those choices. No, I'm not going to support this company. Yes, I will support this company, but everything else in your life, it doesn't matter. This doesn't have the same priority. It doesn't have the same passion. You know what I mean? I am passionately pro Second Amendment. I'm a gun owner. I love my guns. I personally believe that everyone should have whatever gun they want. All right? That's not maybe a popular opinion, especially not in a lot of areas. But I believe in freedoms. We should have the freedom to do things, and if you misuse those freedoms, you should be punished for that. And some people say, no, human beings are not trustworthy. We need to dictate everything they do and control everything they do to prevent problems. And it doesn't work. You can't prevent evil. Bad people will do bad things. Okay? Take away all the guns. Look at other countries, right? They just use other weapons. Just kind of how it is. You'll never ever control evil. But this is not a, pro Second Amendment video. I'm not trying to push any propaganda or anything like that. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Big points I want to make in this video is when a company says something, it doesn't represent all the people who work for that company. A lot of times there are, good Americans that are suffering. They don't agree with their boss's idea or their boss's boss's boss or the CEO of the company. It's just a job. They go to work, make the money, bring it home, feed the kids, make the wife happy. They don't necessarily believe in what the CEO of their company is doing. It's pretty amazing to me. When I was a kid, when I was growing up in the late 80s and mostly in the 90s is when I was, my teenage years and stuff, I don't remember anything being so political. It's possible. It's just because I was younger and I wasn't thinking about politics all the time. But as an adult, it's weird for me to see like an actor will come out and say something political, and it's just not good for business, right? Trying to think of an example, like Robert De Niro. He's very openly political. I may not agree with some of the things he says. It doesn't mean I'm going to put on Goodfellas and go, screw that guy. I love Goodfellas. I love that movie. I think his acting is great. However, on a personal level, don't really care. And that's kind of the thing. Like, you might watch an actor in a movie, or like Robert De Niro, very popular actor. Maybe Morgan Freeman. Maybe you love, you put on Shawshank and you love it, or any of his movies. It doesn't mean you like him as a person. You just like him pretending to be someone else. Music. God, I remember when Bruce Springsteen got really political. I think it was when Kerry was running. And it just really turned me off. But I still liked his music, some of his songs anyway. And actually, I mentioned Bruce Springsteen. It's kind of funny? Every 4th of July, people listen to Born in the USA. All American people, born in, If you really listen to that song, he's complaining about America. He's complaining about being born here. It's not a fun 4th of July barbecue song to be playing, honestly. People don't always listen to the lyrics or understand what the song's about. But yeah, when musicians get political, it has nothing to do with their musical talents or their songs. It's them as a person. It's like a musician, just like an actor, is an entertainer. And you might be entertained by them, but then when that entertainment goes away and it's the actual person expressing who they are, you may or may not like that. Quentin Tarantino, right? Got a little political, made a statement here and there. I don't necessarily agree with him. Still love his movies, But that's what's been happening in the last couple of years, and from what I've seen with companies. These companies are standing up. Major corporations are standing up, and they're drawing a line in the sand, and they're getting political. And I feel like it's just bad for business. Now, in the Yeti video, I mentioned that when Dick's Sporting Goods decided to not sell AR-15s, my knee-jerk reaction was like, forget them. I'm not going to give them my business. I did that. Like, all you people commenting and saying, yeah, Yeti, no, I'm pro-gun, never buy a Yeti. I had that knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, forget them. They're not getting my hard-earned money. I'm not going to give them my money because I don't believe in what they believe in. But as I said in the video, I ended up in the store looking for fishing stuff. I literally just kind of forgot that I didn't like this company because of some political thing that they did. It doesn't mean that when I went to the register, the kid behind the register who took my money and did the transaction, it doesn't mean that he believed in what Dick's believes in. Every employee in there could love, you know, ARs and stuff and wish that they were still selling them. It doesn't represent the people there that are working, the people that have these jobs, right? It's not necessarily their opinion, all right? I don't think that corporations should ever get political. I don't think that musicians should get political, actors, actresses. Like I said, it's just bad for business, you know, and a lot of people like me, that knee-jerk reaction with Dick's is to say, yeah, I'm not going to get my money. Well, guess what? For every 10, you know, pro-gunners that say, nope, forget it, there's another 10 people that say, you know, I never shopped at Dick's before, but I don't like guns. I'm going to start buying my clothes from them. You know, so it's kind of a wash at the end of the day anyway. All these boycotts, has it ever really affected any company? I mean, offhand, I just can't think of some company doing something. And I mean, you guys can maybe remind me of some big event, you know, in the comment section, but I don't remember a company making a political statement and it just ruined the company. They just went under because of it. Maybe it happens. Maybe I'm just not paying attention to that part of life. But I don't think politics have a place in retail. Let's put it that way, in retail. Companies like Walmart, you know, and Target, Dick's Sporting Goods, they shouldn't be making political statements. You know, it's just bad for business. You're there, you're selling a product. You're not selling ideals. Do you know what I'm saying? Imagine if you went into Target and all of a sudden there was some religious thing. Right when you walked in, people handing out religious pamphlets and stuff, it turns people off. You're there to buy some soap or some underwear, you know, or a magazine. You don't want to get a political view. You don't want a religious view. Politics and religion, it just separates so many people. It breaks up families. There are people that get divorced. People have been married for years. All of a sudden, they get into a political argument or something, or a religious argument, and that's it. They're done. And like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing having a strong opinion. And I know a lot of you guys that post that, like, I don't support Yeti anymore. I'm pro-American, pro-gun, and blah, 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 and they don't believe in this. That's okay. You're allowed to do it. I'm not trying to convince you not to. I'm not trying to tell you, no, you should support them because it doesn't matter. I'm just kind of like speaking out loud of how I think of things. You know, I'm trying to see the bigger picture here. Is my buying that Yeti, you know, contributing to the downfall of the Second Amendment? Personally, I don't think so. Sometimes some of you guys out there might think, no, every bit counts. And it's like every vote does count. So maybe if a lot of people thought like me, maybe it would have some kind of effect. I don't really know. Couldn't tell you. But I'm just telling you that if you're passionate about stuff like that, and if you're going to go out of your way to not buy a certain product just because of the company's views, you really should do that across the board. Everything you buy, every product that you enjoy and consume on a daily basis, you should really be looking into all those products as well. And I just think that a lot of people just wouldn't give up certain aspects of their life. Big things, like I said, like cars. Let's say you drive a Ford and you find out the guy owns Ford, kicks babies for fun. You gonna sell your car? Like, really? Or are you gonna say, no, that stinks, and jump in your Ford and drive over to Walmart and buy your next product, you know? We're all consumers. We all buy things. But products, I draw a line, okay? It's just like knives. There's a lot of politics in the knife industry. A lot of, you know, this person's doing this and this person's doing that. It's like a lot of dirty stuff going on and bad things. And some people know about it and they don't support certain companies because of it. And to be honest, being a little ignorant to that kind of stuff is not necessarily a bad thing, because you should be spending your hard-earned money on the products that are best suited for you. That's pretty much it. If a company sells a quality product, you know, I mean, just enjoy the product. It shouldn't have to be this big political mess. You know, it's crazy. It's like the Nikes. People on video burning Nikes. Instead of burning your shoes, why don't you donate them to someone who doesn't have shoes, who has no political view whatsoever? That'd be nice, right? Or the people blowing up the Yetis. It's just, I understand you're making a point. You're trying to drive home your passionate point. But if you're going to do something like that, like I said, go big or go home. Just responding to all the people that posted stuff. I mean, I know most, if not all of you guys are just really, really nice people, and you care about your freedoms and your rights, and that's an awesome thing. It really is. But I'm trying to point out some different aspects of this whole thing. Trying to get people to see the bigger picture here. You know, the biggest points I want to make in this video is buying that Yeti did not make me anti-gun or pro-gun, didn't do anything. All it meant is that I really wanted a nice cup, and I got a nice cup. Another point I want to make is that when these companies get political and stuff, it doesn't necessarily represent all the people that work for them and all the jobs that they're producing. You know, it's just it's usually one guy or one room full of people. They have an idea and they control, obviously, the thousands of people who work for them, you know. Anyway, just wanted to touch upon the subject a little bit. It's just how I think. I'm trying to see the bigger picture here. I am actually very passionate about politics, and I try to stay very, you know, in tune with what's going on in my country, around the world, my government. But instead of, you know, getting online and complaining or not buying a certain product, I try to change how the government works by voting for the people who think how I think. And there's so many people in the United States and so many people that just think so differently from each other. You know, no matter who's in office, no matter who's running something, someone else is not going to like it. And all I could do is try my best to get the people in office that control our country and help, you know, run our country that think like me. Doesn't necessarily mean it's right or wrong. It's just I want to live a certain type of life. So I go out and I vote and I try to get those people who believe in that same type of life to be able to run things. And sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But I try not to get too bogged down in the negativity that surrounds that. You know what I mean? I don't get into political arguments with people because most times people are dead set on how they think. And you're not going to change their mind anyway. And I'm not here to try to change people's minds on stuff. Like I said, I mean, if you think I'm an idiot for you know, not getting it, and you know, and my one little purchase will absolutely, you know, change what's going to happen, you know, in the future, that's fine. You're allowed to think that way. I'm not here to tell you how you think. I'm just trying to tell you how I think. That was the point of the video. So agree with me or don't agree with me, but hopefully it was an intriguing conversation. Love to see the comments. A lot of people are going to post, you know, very intelligent comments, and some people won't. And that'll be up to you to figure out which ones are which. So anyway, I got to act like a squirrel and start hunkering down and getting ready for winter here. I got a weird feeling it's going to be a tough winter. I know it. It's just going to be either just pounded with snow or just like super cold. It's going to be a rough one. So that is it for now. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.